A dream cruise turning into a COVID nightmare for one family. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ross Palumbo. Pat and Juan are off tonight. A mother and grandmother are quarantined on that cruise ship right now, and they say they are not getting the care they need. KCAL 9's Lori Perez is live at the Port of Los Angeles with the very latest. Lori.
Well, Ross, the Grand Princess will return to port here early tomorrow morning carrying an unconfirmed number of COVID positive guests, and that is stirring up all sorts of bad memories. As you said, tonight I spoke with one passenger. She says she and her mother are on board at sea right now. They are very sick, and she says they're getting no help at all.
We have massive headaches. We have the cough, the runny nose, pretty miserable. I'll be very glad to get home tomorrow.
A 2-week trip to Hawaiian paradise for Vicky Herbers and her 80-year-old mother Sharon turned to a trip to the opposite of paradise when mom tested positive for COVID-19 last Friday and Herbers fell ill. For the last 4 days, they've been quarantined in this room, and Herbers says no one from the ship's medical staff has ever called or checked in on them, not even once. And RN herself, Herbers, is stunned.
I said, because I've been a nurse in lots of places, and this is not how you care for sick patients. Somebody has to make a point of contact to know if they're dead or alive, for God's sake.
She's pretty sure she has COVID, but says she was told she'd get retested. She's still waiting. Only after she kept calling, she says, did a paramedic bring Tylenol, cough syrup, and drops. And she says repeated attempts to talk to, let alone see a nurse or doctor, have been dead ends.
And I'm like, your whole medical team takes a break at the same time. And she's like, yes. And I said, that's crazy.
Princess Cruises would not confirm how many people are sick on board the Grand Princess, but said in a statement, guests and crew who tested positive were isolated while monitored and cared for by our shipboard medical team. Herbers says she's been told the shipboard medical team is only 7 people for a ship that carries 2,600. The cruise line does require guests to show a negative COVID-19 test and proof of full vaccination, but she says the paramedic let it slip that more than 200 people are now sick.
He did tell me this is the worst outbreak they've had since they've been back at sea.
The Grand Princess has only been back at sea for 6 months. It's the very ship that sat off the coast of California for days in the early days of COVID as the company and medical professionals figured out what to do with nearly 24 sick guests. 2 years later, Herbers says it seems they still haven't figured it out.
And I said, it's crazy how we have to advocate for our loved ones because people think you can stick them in a room. They stick their own mother in a room without any contact.
Now, the mother and daughter from Murrieta have taken this very same cruise to Hawaii 4 times before. As you can imagine, they say it might be a while before they do it again. At the Port of LA, I'm Lori Perez. Ross, back to you.
All right, Lori, thank you. Unanswered questions tonight in Long Beach.